Hey y'all, VTX, Peggy, Carl, Pam, Amy, how are y'all doing? Well, I wish I could hear like everybody's voice. Wouldn't that be cool, Peggy? Hey Leah.
Yep. Sorry,
Like,
I was finishing that sandwich. I was like, oh, no, wait.
sorry y'all, I haven't been on the past couple of days. I had to take a mental health break. I've been struggling, so
It's okay. Everybody takes a break once in a while. It's fine.
yeah. Look at my elbow.
Amy, she got a boo boo on her elbow. She needs a kissy.
I hit it on the end of a rack today at work. But and then I was changing Olaf's
Read it again?
cage and he bit the shit out of me. Like I was pouring blood. He literally bit the shit out of me. Then he climbed up to my neck and I felt his teeth about to grab a hold of my neck and I pulled him away as quick as I could. Oh no, it ain't happening. Not today.
What was he upset about? Hey,
I
neighbor.
I don't know. I was just changing his cage, and I carried him outside with me so I could use the water hose for his little tray thing. And he just was in a mood. I don't know.
Okay, what's Kenny been slipping him when we're not looking, huh? Huh? Give him some of that wild lettuce. Damn, got it.
Kenny was like, "Oh, he just wanted a carrot." No, that shit fucking hurt. Well,
They got mean teeth. They do.
I know, and that it goes in deep, and it's no, not for me.
Well, you look at Olaf and tell him
Hey,
he's.
grateful.
You look at Olaf and tell him for us it's a good thing you can't eat guinea pig.
Hey, Arrow.
Oh, Arrow snuck in.
Listen, so I've been going through this weird thing the past few days too. It's like I'm having these hot flashes and I start instantly like pouring sweat. Like it looks like I'm just wet, like I'm wet. Uh,
Sorry, that's the look on your face was funny. I'm wet. Just wet.
like my hair gets soaked, my eyes just sweat and I don't know what's going on. Like even at night, Kenny was like, cause like I'm sweating so bad, like I'm drenching, I'm wetting him. And he's like,
I'm not
"You're
going there.
making me sweat."
No, I'm not gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. Hmm.
Fun fact, South America eats guinea pig. Oh
Yeah, I
no.
was just gonna say I'm not going to South America.
Menopause?
See, that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
thinking. Like maybe early symptoms of.
Well, I don't like it. And
Well, none
whatever
of
it
us like
is,
it. You just have to do
no.
it.
It's like I just want to strip. Like I did earlier. I took my clothes. Oh God, it was. And then at work, and I'm like just sweating, and then I'll stop, and I'll, feel all right, and the next thing you know, here it comes again. Oh God, I can't do all that.
I don't know. You haven't had any medication though, have you?
No, I've
No.
quit taking my medicine a few months ago.
Okay. I don't know. I get that. It's weird because I don't know why I do it. The only place I do it is when I go shopping at Walmart, and by the time I go like all the way to the back, all the way to the back of the store, and come back up because that's how I shop. When I
Hmm.
get to the register, I'm dripping wet, and I'm looking at my daughter, going, "How come the rest of you aren't sweating like this? What the hell?" Like, gee, I'm like praying for hell to freeze over because I'm so damn hot. And I don't know where it comes from. It just comes out of nowhere.
It's awful. It's awful. Sounds like it's not. What's that OBGYN gonna do?
Hey, Danny. Check your blood and check your
Oh,
history and kind of make sure everything's okay and not.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know they can test for that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to do something if if it keeps on, because I can't handle that. Do they got medicine for that?
Might have stuff that lessens the symptoms, but you can't stop. You just kind of got to go through them.
I've straightened my hair 4 times today
You,
because it was, ugh, it's so nastified.
I used to pull mine back in a ponytail and just leave it the hell alone.
I about just threw it on top of my head earlier and said F it, but I can't even find a hair bow around this house, so F it. Ugh.
Erwin said, "I'll be at GYN. Will check you for menopause and make sure it's not to something else. They can also give you medication to help regulate it."
Well, this is how early menopause is. Then they need to go in me and just take everything out because I can't do it. And like even the other day, I don't want to sound mean because I'm not that type
Hey,
of
Jan.
person, but I was getting so irritated at work just hearing
Oh,
people's voices. I was already hot just in people's voices, and I'm just like, shut the fuck up. And
not
that's just not me. That's
not to get pers. Oh, yeah, it's pollen season here in Alabama. Everybody, forgive me. I'm going to sound like Minnie Mouse. Not to get personal, anything, but about how old were you when you started?
um probably oh shit. Oh, that was a long time ago. Maybe 11.
Yeah, I'd look into early menopause because I was 10 and a half, so mine came fairly early too. I'm still going through tail ends. I get like hot flashes. I wake up in the middle of the night, my shirt's wet. I'm wringing it out,
That's
swinging it
how
over
I
your head to
am.
cool off. It's like-
It
but the other
affects your
parts are
mood.
gone. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was getting so irritated, and I was just like,
Maybe.
ugh, I just wanted to chuck something at somebody. And that's just not me. I was, and I pushed and I made it through the day, but oh, I just wanted to smack someone. It's like,
That,
just shut up.
that's our little inner demon wanting to come out. Menopause brings her to the surface. Oh, let me alone. What do you want?
And
Why are you
tomorrow
looking at me?
morning, I was trying to get it done this evening, but I was doing like 50 million things at once. So in the morning, since I'm off tomorrow, I just have class tomorrow. I am hooking up some eggs. I'm getting the incubator set up and putting eggs in there. Carl said hormones. It's real.
Yeah, they are something. I'm telling you. What are you? Did somebody want you to hatch them some chicks, or?
Yes, somebody's wanting some chicks, but they want me to keep them until they're old enough to go outside.
Well, that's
They want
extra.
6,
That's
but of
extra.
course Kenny put like it looks like 12 eggs set to the
Oh
side.
Christ
But
on it. Oh God. Kenny,
yeah,
make
that's
sure you charge extra though. If you're going to keep them that long, I would charge extra.
I am. If I have to keep them that long, they're $12 each.
Danny says egg matchmaker added to your resume. Ah,
Hey, I should do that. I've been applying for jobs today
oh,
because the program I'm going through, I only work where I'm working, for so long, and my last day there is Friday.
ooh.
And I applied at a medical center to be a receptionist. I've been applying at a lot of different jobs.
Variety is the spice of life. You never know.
That's a t-shirt. Hormone. Oh, that would be. Let me write that down.
Can't live
Hormone.
with him. You can't. Wait, no, wait. Can't live with them.
Hey, Lewis.
I want to tell you, you can't something without them, but there's no without them. I can't think of anything for without them. Hi, Lilith.
Hormones.
Hormones.
Okay, so I want to show y'all the 2 kids. I out here in Knoxville. I guess they were in DCS custody, and my guess is the mom was on visitation. I'm not sure how she got them, but she they say she the two kids
Oh, sorry.
that were in DCS custody, but she's a biological mom and has taken off with them. They didn't release why they were in the kids were in custody or anything, but I'm going to show y'all a picture.
Well, you're looking for the picture. Did everyone get to see the cat that sneezed into the flower that Carlotta put out? Oh my God.
That was awesome.
I'm still laughing. If you haven't, go check it out. This really laugh.
2 missing kids. DCS custody. Bio mom.
Ooh, all the hearts showing up in the chat after Lilith came in. Ooh,
oh, it's a lot of pretty hearts.
Pretty hot.
Endangered child alert. Okay, I'm going to read this to y'all. It says the Tennessee how do you say that?
Bureau?
Yeah. An investigation has issued an endangered child alert after it's 3 children.
Oh my.
The news said 2. After 3 children were taken from DCS custody by their biological mother, according to Knoxville police. Wednesday morning, Knoxville Police Department shared that Josh and J.C. Hollins, age 4 and 1, were taken from DCS custody by their biological mother. See, it only lists 2 children.
I said that's only 2. Well.
Tiara Shelton, might be Tiara. It's Tiara. Shelton, age 34, on Tuesday, April 9th at 6:20 p.m. Wednesday, Knoxville police added that Shelton had also she'd also taken her 17-year-old son, Raymond McAlpin, from DCS custody as well.
Oh, okay.
The department added that it is believed they were last seen in the Oakwood Lincoln Park area last night. The TBI posted on social media just before 10:50 a.m. that an endangered child alert had been issued for Josh and J.C. Hollins. So these are the 2. I can't even see if I'm showing y'all. Wait, I got this camera thing right. Okay.
That's good right there. That's good.
That's the mom and the 2 youngest.
Oh my goodness.
And then this is the 17-year-old.
Well, he doesn't look 17. Wow. That's a younger picture.
He doesn't look 17 in that picture at all. He looks so young. In addition, warrants have been filed charging Shelton with custodial interference, according to KPD. An additional charge for custodial interference is also pending. An endangered child alert is issued for missing children in cases in which there is a concern for the child's safety, according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Authorities say nearly 400 people go missing in Tennessee each year.
Holy.
That's 5 people for every 100,000. Check this list of people missing from East Tennessee to see if you can help locate someone. The missing Missouri child was found safe today in Tennessee. I didn't even know there was a missing. So, Tennessee been having a lot. Yes.
This one right here?
A lot. So,
wow. Is it hurting?
Yes.
You want to take some aspirin? Well, it's Tylenol.
I've still been keeping up with the Sebastian Rogers case, and allegedly, I say that because I don't know if it's true or not. But it's what, like, a lot of people are saying that there was some evidence found or something. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I heard today.
Oh,
from a
I don't
lot of
know.
channels.
I took a break because of the weather. I haven't been.
Yeah,
I've
I
been
just
mainly
want to say
watching the
that.
weather.
And I was gonna play Sweetie Palo's live tonight because there's some actually good information. It has she has
No.
read the documents between Seth and Katie during the DV situation and all that was on there as well. So I figured we could listen to that and miss you discuss it, man. But that's if I remember how to do this. Hold on.
Oh.
It's so hard having this light right here. I have it sitting on my keyboard thing, y'all. Okay? Because if not, it's so dark in here, like for y'all.
Well, we can handle you in the dark.
Well, if she would have made me a dentist
Make my day twice. Danny took me to bed with her.
Ooh.
Ooh la la.
Ooh.
I don't care. I need a pair of pliers.
Let me see. Oh. 1 second. I gotta roll it back to the beginning.
I don't know. I'm supposed to do that.
David, and you'll treat yourself with a premium and get to
Mine's my spring concert, and I still don't have any black shoes that are like slip-on shoes. They can't be tennis shoes,
Okay.
but I have to have them for the
I'm
month.
gonna do that. Back to the live. Let's see. Okay. I think
I don't know, Lilith. Last time it ended up with a broken chair and somebody with a bad back.
Yes, Willis. If you would like to do that, we will do that very soon. We need to do something like that. Huh. I'll think of something with hot dogs. How big you gotta get to have fupa balls?
That's what did it?
That's what you can have.
How big?
I don't need any more.
Pay
No.
attention
Well,
to
eight.
Foodie.
And
And look at her size whenever she got the fupa balls. I don't know.
4? Close to 4? Wasn't she somewhere in there?
They're not.
Ah!
Okay, let's see here.
Did you just ask James if he had pliers?
Yes.
Since Sebastian vanished. And yesterday I had some information come across
Okay, sorry.
my awareness, I'll say. And this information is very big. No matter who you are, like this is a big deal. So I'm going to make my way to that point by first showing some documents. Now, you may or may not have seen these. More than likely you haven't seen them, but it's possible that you have. So we're going to go through just a few lines of this. This is part of the divorce, okay? The divorce between Seth and Katie. And this was Seth's reaction, or Seth's, what would we call it? Reply, sort of, I guess, to Katie's. So I'm going to share this with you right now. Okay. In the matter of Rogers, attachment to DV, reasons I do not agree. I, Seth Rogers, declare that I am respondent in the above captioned matter and have personal knowledge of each fact set forth in this declaration. If called as a witness, I could and would completely testify within the bounds hereto. Petitioner Katie L. Rogers, hereinafter referred to as Katie, and I were married on June 21st, 2008, and still reside together. We have been married for 8 years and 3 months. We have one child together, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, hereinafter referred to as Sebastian, born December 7th, 2008. On or about August 29, 2016, Katie obtained a temporary restraining order against me and had me removed from our marital residence. She listed Sebastian as a protected party and obtained a child custody through the TRO, forbidding me to see him. There is a permanent domestic violence restraining order hearing set for September 16, 2016 before this court. Since being served with the DVTRO, I have not violated the DVTRO and have had no impermissible contact with either petitioner or our son. On August 29, 2016 and September 8, 2016, I turned in the firearms I was in legal possession of to the San Diego County Sheriff's Office. Attached hereto as Exhibit A are true and correct copies of the receipts and notices of confiscation. I've abided by the terms of the DVTRO, even though Katie's actions rendered me homeless. And that is one thing. Seth was actually homeless, I think, for at least 6 months around this time that the DVTRO was filed.
Oh, sorry.
Katie's request for a restraining order is based upon the following. I was highly aggressive in my mannerisms and I cursed and yelled at her. This is not a basis for a restraining order under the facts. I was very angry, yelling at our son, and our son added, "Daddy hit me," not a basis for a restraining order under the facts, as I never hit him. I've yelled at her and our son and slammed a door, breaking it, not a basis for a restraining order. As a result of these baseless allegations, I respectfully request the court deny Katie's request for permanent domestic violence restraining order in full. There is no basis for her claims, and she fails to prove conduct under the Domestic Violence Prevention Act that would justify a restraining order. Incident of August 28, 2016. In her request for DVRO, Katie claims that on August 28, 2016, I was being highly aggressive in my mannerisms and verbally, quote, watching her in her sleep. Okay. And I yelled at her because she is not willing to beat her son. Not sure what we mean by that. Okay. This is not true. And even if it was, it would not be the basis for a DVRO. What actually happened on this day is that I was having a difficult time with our son. He refused to do anything I asked him. I asked him to clean his room and he replied no, and that he didn't have to listen to me or anything I asked him to do. And he told me I should apologize for asking him to clean his room. I attempted to appropriately discipline him by sternly telling him that no matter the circumstances, should he ever speak to any adult, let alone his mother or father, the way he spoke to me. After this, Sebastian ran downstairs to Katie, jumped in her lap, and started saying he hated me.
Oh.
And that he wished I would leave and never come back. After Sebastian seemed to calm down a bit, Katie got up from the chair she was in and walked outside. And Sebastian approached me and told me he loved me and wanted to live with me after all. After this incident, I was very upset, but I was never violent in any way. Our neighbor was in the house and she said something about being uncomfortable. I told our neighbor I was going to just get some coffee and go outside to be alone. When I did, our neighbor followed me outside and asked me what was wrong. I told her how I was feeling and asked her to just let me calm down and compose myself. At no point did I act violently toward her or anyone else in the house, and I never yelled at Katie because she wouldn't, quote, beat our son. There was never any,
So I'm guessing in the restraining order, I'm guessing Katie said put that he yelled at her because she wouldn't beat Sebastian. If it's true or not, I don't know because I wasn't there. But this is just the what do you call this? The report on it.
Any? Hold on a second.
Breezy.
Okay, well, here, we'll just go with this. This is not true. Even if it was, it would not be the basis for the DVRO. What actually happened? Okay, just a second, guys. Yes.
I'm hurting.
Okay, I think I carry on from here then. Let me double check. Okay, good. All right. This is not true, and even if it was, it would not be the basis for a DVRO. What actually happened on this day was that Katie and I were arguing about how we were going to proceed with our divorce. Our divorce has been filed, and we were still residing in the same house, which created a tense situation. Although we argued, just a minute. Although we argued, I never once acted violently, and never once did I encourage her to, quote, beat our son, as she alleges in her pleadings. During our argument, I left the residence and slammed the door, but her claim that I broke the door is false. The door was already broken before I slammed it. Again, there was never any violence, nor was there any threat of violence. In a request for DVRO, Katie claims that on August 11, 2016, I was angry at our son and that our son told her that I hit him. The truth is that I never put a hand on our son. Our son suffers from a rare condition called 6q27 chromosomal deletion syndrome. Among the symptoms he suffers from are incidents of acting out, where he hits and bites himself out of frustration. He has been known to throw himself to the ground during these incidents. This is a very common thing for him, and others have witnessed him doing this. I have filed here declarations from some of these witnesses. Okay, everybody still with me? Good.
That's so sad.
So when I saw this line here about Sebastian, when he gets into a situation where he acts out and that he bites himself out of frustration and that he would throw himself on the ground, all of a sudden, I was reminded of those bite marks, guys, on Seth's forearm. And I'm not Seth. Excuse me. Let me say that over again. I was reminded of those bites on Chris's forearm. Let's look at them again.
Yes, Sebastian bites when he gets upset. Oh. Sorry, y'all.
All right, so you guys can see these look perfectly spayed.
Yeah.
I don't want to jump to conclusions, but I'm so glad.
How do I enlarge that a little more for y'all? Let's see. It is said he bites himself, not others. Yes, it did say that he does bite himself. It's common for them to bite themselves. Oh. So they inflict, when they have a breakdown, they basically like try to inflict pain on themselves.
If they suffer from what he, like the chromosome thing that he read off to you, the children that suffer from that, yes, they will smack themselves, hit their heads on the wall, bite themselves.
My body said,
I think what I gather, because thank God my son didn't do that. It's like frustration. They don't know how to deal with a situation, so they turn on themselves.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm sorry, these are scratches. I don't think they're bites.
Smiley
Just
Stories
foot
brought
marks.
those
yeah.
up.
Sorry. I didn't know if I pushed it anywhere it
Oh,
plays.
no, you're okay.
You think those are scratches?
Yeah. He said he got it from clipping the dog's nails, and you have to take care of your pets even if your kid's missing. I'm sorry, but you do.
But
And he
all
said
of
he was,
this, like his kids, he comes home because his kid's missing and clips his dog's nails as soon as he gets there.
well, I don't think he clipped him as soon as he got home. I'm just saying during the time that he was missing, he
Amy.
clipped the nails and the dog scratched him. So I mean, he didn't lie about it. I mean, he didn't
What
try to
interview?
hide him.
Does anybody know
God, I
what
don't
number
remember.
interview this was?
No, I don't.
No.
I just remember him showing him because he's like I said, everything they've ever said. He said, "I'm not hiding nothing. I'm not putting anything under the rug." And it just seems to me that the more this case goes on, more people are opening doors to skeletons that don't need to be opened, for God's sake. But
The
it is what
new
it is.
Hey, Shiloh. I'll be right back.
B. Austin 24. Is that your new name?
Did he change it again?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You confuse me.
Nobody's ever going to be able to find him because we don't know what he's going by. Oh, wait. Before you start, how's your girlfriend?
Good.
Oh, good. I was holding my breath there for a minute. I'm like, Carrie, go ahead. Sorry.
I know. I got it enlarged on my thing over here, and I was trying to see if I can. But if I get it bigger, it gets blurry on me, so I can't.
Well, I mean, the whole thing that I heard was he was playing with the puppies, and then he had to cut their nails, and he got scratched by messing with the dogs. Is how I've heard it on 3 or 4 different places, but I don't know. I have
We'll never know the truth until LE.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never know. I mean, like I said, we can all speculate all day, and like I said, y'all know how I feel already. And Peg's
Well,
on the fence.
I'm on the
She's
fence. I
not
want you show
like,
me, and I'll
Shiloh.
But the only reason I do that is because this is becoming, and I've heard 1,000 people say this. This has become the Summer Wells 2.0. And I think this case is even getting worse than the Summer Wells case, which I didn't think you could ever do.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
afraid. I'm so terrified that they're not gonna find him. Like,
well, wait a minute. Never say never. They just recently found Dylan Rounds, and no one thought they'd ever find him.
well, they found him because it was a plea deal. The
Well,
guy showed them where the body was.
Well, I'm just saying. Let's say we get to the point that we know who done it, and they have to tell you where he is.
For a
But
plea
never
deal.
say never. I want just to give closure.
Yeah,
You know.
it breaks my heart.
Oh,
This case has really
and
got.
it's gone from him missing to this one said this about that one, and there's bitterness between Seth and Katie. I mean, they tried to mask it, but it's slowly coming out. And it's like I said, no divorce is ever gonna be peachy, but
Especially if you're living in the same home and you're getting a divorce, but you're still living together. There's going to be problems there. There is
Yeah.
going to be problems.
And like we've said, for every story, there's your side, his side, and then there's the truth in the middle, and everything will come out. And for me, pointing fingers at her for not protecting him when he got SA'd, and pointing fingers at this one for this or whatever. And I'm like, what the hell, and Sam, does that have to do with this little boy? Not a damn thing. Now get out there and find that kid.
Okay,
Well-
I'm going to push play.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're
during
okay.
her live stream, her interview with him, because when I look at these now, all I see is teeth marks, and they look, honest to God, like human teeth marks.
Mm-mm.
They truly do. And so from there, I got to thinking about the kind of potential abuse
Oh,
that I believe poor Sebastian endured in that
muting.
household.
What's wrong with the
A very reliable source shared some information with me. I'm going to play you a clip real quick, and then we'll get into that.
I really think
society
Oh,
and not be part of the problem.
Can we talk
Don't-
about that? Can we talk about the diapers real quick?
Sure.
I'm glad you mentioned that. What's up with the diapers? Could you break that down for me? Because I've heard that many different times in many different comments and chat forums and all that. Could you just explain a little bit about this diaper situation?
they do.
He was having accidents at school, and Chris got tired of Katie taking clothes to him to change clothes, so he made him wear a pull-up.
Mm.
Which is actually one of those things that happens to children that are abused. He would come to my house. First thing he did when he came in, I was like, take those damn things off, go take a shower, put on some underwear and some comfy clothes. Because we're men.
Wait.
We wear
Like
our boxers. We wear our boxer briefs.
Mhm.
We're not wearing pull-ups. And no accidents here.
But when he would go over there, he would be wearing diapers.
When he went over there, it got to the point where he was forced to bring a diaper over here. For when he left, he couldn't have underwear at their house.
You want me to-
Really?
Chris didn't want him wearing underwear. Chris wanted to wear a pull-up. Chris got
What is it, Peg?
First of all, do we even have any solid evidence that the boy didn't have any underwear at the house? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, that's just what his dad's saying is that they wanted him to wear pull-ups there because he had accidents there.
Well,
This is just what Seth is saying. So
and what the other thing that, yeah, Danny, right? That's where my head just went. There are other reasons kids can end up wearing pull-ups or having accidents. They can have a bladder issue. They can have an infection. They can have medication that they're on that causes this to happen. I mean, there are 100 reasons besides. And I'm not taking away if something happened to him. I don't want to take it away from him. But I'm saying there are other reasons for that to happen. And if he's doing it at school, to me, if you're doing it in one house and not the other, maybe I'd be suspicious. But if he's also doing it at school, that to me says there's something with his body.
well, Seth said he he used the bathroom fine at his house, that he didn't have to wear pull-ups, but Chris would make when he would go over there is whenever he had to wear pull-ups. First, the school allowed him to wear pull-ups. No one yeah,
Well, they can if especially a special needs child, they
won't say anything.
yeah, they won't point at that or make it a big issue. They might want you to work on it, but they're not gonna. If a child has a problem, a child has a problem. You'll find a way to deal with that. But again, I could sit here and say, okay, well, God, that sounds terrible, but how do I know that Seth's telling the truth?
I mean, that's right. I mean, how do we know everything that's coming out of his mouth is true too? That's why until LE comes out with whatever, until we hear from them, like, you know, we just have to take everything, you know, kind of with, how do you say it, like a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would hope to God his dad isn't up here
Well,
lying.
let me ask you this.
The school
When his father told the story of Sebastian and the other young man that violated him, that story could have just been, Sebastian had an event in his past that may have caused. He didn't have to tell the story the way he did. That's Seth's story to tell, or Sebastian's story to tell.
Well, from what I understand,
my
the reason why
opinion.
Seth came out and said it because Chris made a threat to him, allegedly made a threat, like suggesting, hey, it's going to come out like I don't know. So that's why Seth went ahead and put it out because Chris allegedly said
I think
something.
I think he wanted to beat the gun. I think he wanted to tell the story before they did because he's angry at Katie. He blames Katie for it happening. Well, like I said, I can be with these kids 24 hours a day. That doesn't mean I can stop everything that's going to happen to them. You can't.
Just the discrepancy in pull-ups versus no pull-ups could confuse him.
Mm-hmm. But if he's obviously been at school and had an accident where Katie's had to bring him clean clothes, there's something going on, I think, with his body that he would be doing that because most boys, and they're not saying, was it recently? Was it when he was in middle school or, what the hell do they call that? Yeah, elementary school. They're not saying which level he was at when he's having it. If he's currently having it at 15, he definitely needs to see a doctor and they need to find out what's going on. I mean, because that's not,
He was going to,
you know.
Yeah, that's what it was. Thank you, Leah, for reminding me. Yes, Chris allegedly said, I'll say allegedly because I don't want to get in trouble for nothing, but out of Seth's mouth, Chris said that he was going to tell the story and nobody would look for Sebastian because they would think, in his opinion, people would look at Sebastian as Sebastian is a ped, basically.
Right, Danny? Danny says, here's what I feel. I think Seth apparently had no issues with her until social media turned on her. And then that's when all of a sudden Seth started saying stuff against Katie. And let's not forget in the story about Sebastian going through what he did,
It's our job as parents.
Seth, if she was such a, I know, well, yeah, Danny. And Seth said, or that Katie put out too, that Seth couldn't go on a base. I don't know if it's naval or army. I'm not sure which one these two guys were in at the time. It was in California. He wasn't allowed on the base because he had an altercation with the doctor that was treating Sebastian for the SA. He said she didn't have the qualifications to treat his son. And then he tried to downplay what, and I can just see him looking right at him right now. I can see him challenging that doctor and saying, "You don't know what the hell you're doing, woman." Sorry, but I see him doing that.
Because if she was such a bad mom, why didn't Seth? Yeah, I don't understand. Like, if there was a lot going, if Seth felt this way, now I do believe that he should have went ahead and done something about it. In my opinion, he should have. I don't know why he didn't. That question needs to be probably asked. Like, why didn't you step in sooner if these things were going on? I don't know.
And Amy, as far as like clothing being kept at school, I know.
I feel Sebastian was failed by all of them. In my opinion,
Oh yeah.
I feel like he was failed by all.
Well,
Because if there was these things going on, then somebody should have stepped up and said something. In my opinion, but I don't know. Okay.
well, I'm looking because here, like I said, it's so hard here. But my thing, and knowing how close, like with my son's IEP team, and he had a manager. They called it a case manager that was over everything we did with him.
Mm-hmm.
That included them paying attention to his behaviors and his things, and if something changed, They'd want to know why. Why all of a sudden is he doing this when he's never done that? Or why has he stopped doing this when he's always done that? So to me, the first line of defense for this young man would have been the school.
I would do the same thing if I thought the person who was treating my child wasn't qualified.
But you would do it in a diplomatic manner. You wouldn't just lose your crap right there on a base. I mean, you wouldn't just go in on
There
a base
was
and start screaming and
there was
yelling.
some kind of thing where, and I don't know where that interview is, where he did say like how she was handling his, I guess, what therapy that he was going through, or whoever it was that was treating him. I can't remember where and I can't remember all the words. I'm sorry. There's so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember him saying she.
Okay, well, here's a question that you could put towards Seth. How much experience do you have dealing with a child that's been through this? None, because you've never dealt with it until now.
Mhm.
And he's running on emotion. He's not running on fact and this is how we talk to him. This is how we get him through it. This is how the steps we need to take. He's never had to deal with a child that's been violated
Maybe he just
and
seen it
thrown
wasn't.
on top that he's autistic.
Maybe he's noticed that it wasn't helping him, and he's seen how the kind of therapy that he was taking was going, and he didn't agree that was the right kind. Should have he lost his cool, he probably could have went about it a different way, just pulled him out of that and took him to another. But sometimes, I mean, nobody's the same. All parents react different ways. It just depends. Like I said, we don't know them, any of them in real life.
No, we don't.
So we don't know how, they would react to a situation like that.
No.
Especially because we don't really know what kind of therapy that they were doing. There was a comment on the internet about if Sebastian was high functioning, then why was he wearing pull-ups? Can someone explain?
Well, like I said, Amy, the only explanation that comes to my mind is if he couldn't control his bladder. If
And like another thing is, he could have like looked at his doctor to kind of decide what's going on too.
right, because there could be a bladder infection, and he sometimes you just go, you can't stop it.
Exactly.
Sometimes, and more common in boys. So sorry, Austin.
No problem.
more common in boys, they have a growth delay in their bladder sometimes, and they can be in bed and they don't realize they got to go, and the body says, "Hey, I got to go," and boom, it just yeah, Amy, a medical condition, or they just put him on medication recently because they say he was recently diagnosed as autistic. Maybe the medication he was on was causing him an issue.
Exactly, I agree on that.
So I mean, there's a ton of reasons why.
The only thing that bothers me about it is, what if it's the truth? Why did Seth not have a problem with it? He didn't use the bathroom on himself at Seth's, but did when he was in over there. That's
Let me play
the thing
devil's
that's
advocate.
getting me, because if he's really partying on himself that much, then he should be doing it at his dad's as well. So that's what's getting me, like,
Well,
why? I don't understand that
but
part.
see, I don't either. And I'll play devil's advocate. What if he's so afraid of his dad that he just held it, maybe ran to the bathroom and went?
I think
And
being
sat-
afraid,
you
though,
don't
is what
know.
makes you piss yourself and stuff. Like, that's just my opinion. So I know a child that has, I know people that's been SA'd. And
I was going to do that.
I can say I never messed myself. I can say that. But I do know someone that did, and it was from that I don't understand. I don't know why, if you've been SA'd or in certain trauma situations, it makes you do that. But I do know that, like, there's several people that do that from being SA'd or through some kind of trauma. And usually it's, around where you're a place where you're not comfortable at, where you're scared at normally. And that's just from my own experience from things. But oh, sorry, Sam. I didn't know you were behind me, buddy.
You ran over Sam.
Silly.
Oh
He
no.
took off on me today.
No, not again.
So that's just my experience in it. I do know that usually trauma and stuff can cause somebody to be sorry, I'm trying to pick my notebook up before he gets it, but can cause somebody to use the bathroom on themselves and stuff.
Well, like, yeah, and but like,
Because I would think if
I
he was,
just think there's a lot of missing pieces.
there
to this
is
puzzle.
there's a million missing pieces to
Lots
this
of
puzzle.
missing
We
pieces.
don't know if. Oh, you're welcome, Amy. We don't know if everything that's being said out here, even if it's out of the parent's mouth, we don't know if it's the truth or not. I still think Chris and Katie's a liar, but that's my opinion. Anyway, let me keep going.
I think they're all
But
liars.
do I feel like Seth completely tells the truth 100% of the time? No, I don't. I feel like he adds things in certain things. That's just my opinion. I don't feel like he 100% tells the truth, but I feel like there is a lot of truth. And I feel like a lot of times when Seth is talking about things, I don't want to say this on here. Let's cut that. I don't want to say it on here because then I look like a piece of crap. But well, okay. I feel like Seth is a little different. That's what I'm gonna put on here. That's what I'm gonna say. I feel watching Seth and stuff and how he acts, even if he's just going on the panel to be relaxed or something. Hey, Mr. J, how are you? I feel like he's different and he doesn't know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. He's just different. He's not the brightest when it comes to putting certain things out. No, you shouldn't put that out. He shouldn't have put that out about Sebastian. He really shouldn't have. Like you said, he could have said, he had some trauma, something really bad happened to him. He didn't have to say what, but that's his son. And if Sebastian ever sees that, then he'll have to deal with his dad for saying it on the internet. That's the way I'm going to look at that right now, because I don't want to go further with my thoughts because it sounds bad how I feel whenever when I see Seth talking, me feeling like he don't have the highest. I don't know. Some of you know what I'm talking about, and I feel like he might be just a little different and not know how to go about certain things and say certain things and just stuff like that. That's how I feel about Seth. I don't see Seth being the smartest, the brightest color in the box.
I need to pee.
If that makes sense. But I do believe that there is a lot of truth to what Seth says, but I do feel like he kind of, adds a little something here and there. But That's just my opinion, and I hope that didn't sound mean. I swear I don't mean it in the bad way. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it without sounding like a horrible person. But that's just my opinion on Seth. Just my opinion. Do I believe that things probably could have got a little crazy when him and Katie was living together, going through a divorce? Absolutely. Absolutely. What are you doing? You aren't being mean. I hope not. I just don't know how to explain it without saying it, and I don't want to say it. So, okay, I'm gonna push play. Hold on. Whew. My heart's racing because I was trying not to say. Sorry, Austin. I had the arrow on because I was trying not to say it, but explain it, and I just can't. I don't know how to word it. I'm horrible. Okay, here we go.
Just got upset that I wouldn't enforce that at my house.
What?
My son doesn't need to be in a pull-up. My son needs to be treated better.
Then why didn't you do something? He would.
Accidents happen.
No doubt.
All right. But
I'm gonna grab my tea real quick.
My house.
Real quick before we continue, I do want to give everybody a quick heads up. Please, guys, I have pinned it to the top.
So what we have here is a situation where Chris Proudfoot more than likely was abusing him far more than he cares to admit. I mean, we know of at least one incident, but honestly, I think there was so many more incidents than that. One or two that he's actually admitted to. Because remember on Nancy Grace, he definitely tried to minimize it quite a bit.
He did.
So I got into a conversation yesterday with a very reliable source. Guys, I wish I could tell you who it was, but they want to remain nameless. So just take this as, allegedly or speculation, whatever you want to file it as. But they're very reliable.
Listen, y'all.
What they shared with me was information about Chris Proudfoot and the great lengths that his family would go to cover up for him. So pretty much the conversation we were having, I was like, do you think, we know so a 15-year-old, autistic or not, wearing diapers, who is considered very high functioning, are we going to consider that as normal or okay? That doesn't seem right. This is a kid who, in my opinion, at the bare minimum, he's being physically abused. But I even wonder.
Maybe, Arrow. Maybe. I'll have to look up what you just said because those are big words. But I'll have to look it up.
And this is what I brought up. I said, do you think he could be so weird as to like SA type abuse? And then I was told, well, somebody, how do I say this? Okay, in the past, let's say, and this is for sure before Chris was of age, so 18 years old. Not only did he SA his own stepsister, but he also did this to his cousin. And his mother, Kathy, covered for him, covered it up however she could. And suddenly, it all started to make sense. Though these are women, or not women, these are females that in the past were victimized, is it possible that he didn't have any, I hate to go there, but any preference on this? Is he just an abusive type person?
So sure.
I was deeply troubled finding this out, guys. Very deeply troubled.
So allegedly, Mr. Proudfoot SA'd his cousin and his stepsister. and I'm going to just say allegedly.
The thing is this family is truly, in my opinion, a crime family. Like Terry, the stepdad of Chris, he has a history of, and not to say that all drug users are gonna, be shady and do unscrupulous things, because they won't. But Terry Bowersox does have a history with some methamphetamine. Going back to, let's see, what was that? Charges filed, and this was a while ago, okay? February 17, 1981. But then you've got, probation violation in 2006. Schedule, 4 drugs, less than a half ounce. And that was, 2006. And then in 2011, March of 2011, obtaining drugs by fraud. And then let's see, 4/13/2011, obtaining drugs by fraud. And then May 23rd of 2006, unlawful drug paraphernalia uses and activity. Again, I don't want to say that just because somebody did drugs means that they're going to do other shady things. But that takes me to my next point.
Yeah, that was the
Check this out.
stepfather.
Let me make sure you guys are seeing everything. Okay, good. So this was in one of the groups. So again, we can file this as speculation. But here's what was said. I probably have the missing piece to the puzzle. On the 26th, around 5:45 in the morning, so this would have been Monday morning, 5:45 in the morning, there was a SUV parked on the side of the road, right past the country store on New Hope Road. I cannot 100% swear on the Bible, but the SUV looks just like CP, so Chris Proudfoot's mother's SUV. But if it is her vehicle, then the time adds up to when Sebastian's mother was about to drive to the school and look for him. I can almost bet my life that she met her up there and gave him to her. I done some asking around and found the landowner information, and they just happen to have trail cameras, a few of them right in that area. So in the morning, I'm getting the cards and going to see if I'm right. A few people already know, and Sumner County will know if what is on the camera is what I believe it is. CP's mother and stepfather are some evil people, and I believe with everything I love, it's going to turn out to be what I believe it is. There's 6 other people seen in that vehicle that morning, park up past that store and school, and I believe we are about to blow it wide open. As of recently, I have not seen, just a minute, hold on. I have not seen any follow-up on this, but I found it extremely interesting. When I spoke to somebody in that neighborhood, remember, they told me that when she left that, so shortly after she realized he had vanished, she leaves the house and she drives around. They say she came back pretty quick after that. As a matter of fact, hold on, I might have a video. I think I added the video, some audio in here. Let me see if I can find it. Just a minute. Is it here? Just a minute. Let me see if I've got it on my phone more readily available than this. Well, let's listen to this clip. Hold on. So you guys saw on your camera.
And right after school on Friday.
Okay.
On my video, about somewhere around 3 o'clock, get the mail on Friday.
Okay.
Then they evidently had been out on Saturday because she comes home, she pulls up, he jumps out of the car and he gets the mail, and while she's pulling into the garage, he's skipping and he looks happy and he's running up to the front door, but then he doesn't go in the front door and he skips back down the sidewalk and into the garage, but looks really happy. Mm-hmm. I did not visually see him on Friday with the camera, but Sunday with my camera, but that was when I asked my husband asked the police, did you see who took that trash down? Was that Sebastian? Mm-hmm. And they said yes, because in this neighborhood, if you want your trash picked up on Monday morning, you got to take it down there sometime Sunday. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So you guys saw it.
That's why
on your
she
camera.
says allegedly.
right after school on Friday.
Okay.
On my video, about somewhere around 3 o'clock, get the mail on Friday.
Okay.
Then they evidently had been out on Saturday because she comes home, she pulls up, he jumps out of the car and he gets the mail, and while she's pulling into the garage, he's skipping and he looks happy and he's running up to the front door, but then he doesn't go in. Go in the front door, and he skips back down the sidewalk and into the garage, but looks really happy.
Mhm.
I did not visually see him on Friday with the camera, but Sunday with my camera. But that was when I asked my husband asked the police, did you see who took that trash down? Was that Sebastian?
Mhm.
And they said yes, because in this neighborhood.
Okay, guys, I had you listen to it twice because I'm trying to find this clip, but it's not where I thought it was. Pretty much, this individual told me that that Katie immediately drove around the area to look for him. And so, speculation, this is allegedly, right? And speculation here, but could she have gone over to this area where they're talking about in the screenshot I showed you on Hope Road, I think it was? Is it possible that maybe there was a quick, like a transfer or something? That's my speculations. I know it's a lot, but obviously something happened, and somehow they have managed to completely throw off law enforcement. And either law enforcement right now is playing into the lie, like, oh, and we don't suspect you kind of attitude, or they really don't suspect them because they've managed to cover their tracks so much. That's the part that's just so confusing. Anyway, I wanted to go back. I want to listen to some of, do you guys remember when Duchess did I think this was her second interview. I found some interesting information in that. And what I did is I got a good clip of it. And I just want to go back and listen to that with you guys, because there are so many things that have come out in subsequent interviews that proved that these first answers were completely, he was lying. He was straight lying. Chris was. So I want to go back and I want to listen to some of that. So we'll go ahead and I'll share that with you right here, right now.
What happened that may be just finding out about Sebastian being missing. Can you walk us through what happened on Sunday, like before Sebastian, went missing? Can you walk everybody through that and what led up to you finding out?
Real quick too, if I could have a mod put in Duchess's channel so that we can credit her for this live stream, please. For this clip, I mean. Okay, we'll go ahead.
Out that Sebastian was missing.
Yeah. Sunday morning, I'll just start at the morning. Sunday morning, we got up and I made a fun breakfast for us. Spaghetti pancakes. Google it, y'all. We FaceTime family while we were eating so he could brag, because that's something he likes to do. And we were laughing and joking on FaceTime and having a good time with that. After breakfast, we got a call to go pick up our niece and go take her to meet up. So we did that. We went and picked her up, and we met her mom at BJ's, and we were there with family members. We come home and put our groceries away, and then a little bit later we went to the bowling alley, a local bowling alley here, and we played games. And then and this is just Bubba and I, and we went to dinner, just the two of us, and then come home. He took the trash out because that's his chore, and he come in and he was playing in his room until bedtime. And at bedtime, I told him, I said, hey, Bubba, it's time to go to bed. And he goes, okay, good night, Mama, I love you. And then he said goodnight to his puppies, and he went to bed.
Okay, and walk me through.
Hang on, I want to interrupt real quick. So what she talks about there with the whole good night routine. First of all, I have a 15-year-old son. No, he is not autistic, but in my experience, he is the type that loves to like stay up late. And when I go in and I say, okay, good night, Malik, I love you. Like, it's like, okay, see ya, Mom. And then he's still going to be gaming or doing whatever it is he wants to do for the next couple hours. I mean, he's a straight A student. I trust him like beyond words because he's just that good. So it's automatically kind of hard for me to imagine that she just says, hey, it's time for bed, and he just goes to bed. Number one, that's hard for me to picture. But then the whole, okay, good night, Mom, good night, puppies. Like, it's incredibly rehearsed. Yes, Christina. Yes, extremely rehearsed. Okay, let's continue listening. It just made me think of that.
Through what happened, you said that you were on a phone call, you were on the couch, and then you went to bed at midnight. Walk me through exactly what transpired during that time before you went to bed at midnight for you.
So, well, my husband, he works out of town a lot. So we normally sit and talk every evening, and I normally fall asleep on him. And he'll tell me, wake up, you got to go to bed. And and that was right around midnight. So I got up and I put the puppies up and I went to bed myself at midnight. And I went to sleep, obviously. And then at 6 a.m., I went to wake him up for school, and that's when I couldn't find him. And sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Take your time. Take your time. Tell me, did Sebastian take any type of medication before he went to bed, or that would make him sleepy? Or if he did take medication, it was just in the morning, or did he take medication at night before he went to bed?
He did take medication nightly and daily.
Okay.
Just for HIPAA reasons, we will not disclose.
I understand.
What the medication is.
I was just trying to think, if there was some
HIPAA.
There's that wonderful line. For HIPAA reasons, we cannot give away that information. Like, it's laughable. For HIPAA reasons? Really? Are you in healthcare, Mr. Chris? Like, what? Just ridiculous.
something that might have made him sleepy, like if he would have woken up, I'm just all these different questions that people have asked. So, but you don't have to disclose any particular, nobody needs to know that, specifically. I just wanted to ask. Do you feel any particular way? Do you have any thoughts about Sebastian's disappearance? Do you feel that he may have walked off? I've seen a lot of people in chat saying that he went out the window versus he went out the door. How did the door get locked? That you found the door locked? Can you walk me through exactly what that looks like and what you found? Was the door locked? What do you think may have occurred for him walking off versus
Well, I'll tell you this.
with someone? Okay.
We didn't find any signs of the windows, but and without disclosing the details of my door locks, I will say that Sebastian regularly and consistently went out and locked the door behind himself.
Okay.
Chris.
All right, let me get over here because I have some other questions that are coming in. What that looks like and what you found, was the door locked? What do you think may have occurred for him walking off versus
Well, I'll tell you this.
with someone? Okay.
We didn't find any signs of the windows, but and without disclosing the details of my door locks, I will say that Sebastian regularly and consistently went out and locked the door behind himself.
Okay. All right, let me get over here because I have some other questions that are coming in.
United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, Chris Proudfoot.
No, I will say this much. Let them ask questions. I mean, we're not hiding anything. I've heard so much negativity that I refuse to answer questions. Let them fly. I mean,
Okay.
I'll be respectful.
Oh, shoot. One second. Okay, so Amy, you said something about the lawsuit. I looked it up. I don't know if this one's it. Christopher Proudfoot appeals from the district courts granting summary judgment in favor of Arnold on his discrimination and retaliation claims under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Proudfoot has a learning disability. Oh, I don't know. I want to make sure this one's him before I read this. Learning disability impedes his comprehension to body language, and he suffers from adult separation anxiety disorder. Beginning in June 2011, Proudfoot worked for sanitation. What's a sanitation laborer?
Sanitation?
Does anybody know?
It's like a garbage man or
Yeah.
pickup thing. I think.
Okay. At an industrial Did he ever live in Pennsylvania? Mechanicsville? Peg VTX wants you.
I don't know. I know they've been in California and stuff, but I don't remember ever hearing.
Okay. I want to make sure this one's him before I start.
Are you sure you want
Nikki, VTX would request to know if you have gotten stuck in any more bins lately.
No. Now, I did have to bend over into one to get some clothes out today, and all it did is squeezed my fat rolls pretty good, but I didn't get stuck.
She told me. Oh, the images you people give me. I'm gonna need therapy.
I'll have to look this up. It's got 6.3 million views.
I don't think he's been from Pennsylvania, but I could be wrong. I think they're from the Tennessee area.
They're not talking to me, Mr. Rogers said regarding Katie and Chris Proudfoot in his home. This man sues no views. Seth Rogers. I don't know if that one's true about him. United States versus Proudfoot, along with his father and co-defendant Harry Proudfoot. Matthew Proudfoot solicited 140 individuals across the United States to invest more than $3 million. I'll dig into all that when Amy, and see.
Amy, you gave her a bone.
If it's the right
You
one.
gave her a bone, Amy.
She threw a bone and I took it.
Running with that bone, girl.
I'm gonna dig into it. You can give me the million of it.
Why is the medicine such a soft spot for him specifically?
You want to be grounded longer?
Was it possibly because, could they have been like overdosing him, or not to jump to conclusions here, but I can see that maybe medicating him could be a helpful way to deal with maybe some of the parts that are not so easy to deal with, if that makes sense. So why does he get all weird about the medicine part, right? Makes you wonder.
Same reason my son-in-law does.
But please let him fly. We're good with it.
Okay, I'm just going to Crystal, Arctic, do you have a question that you want to ask before I take a few questions from the chat?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
We know that
Hey, Jenny.
that Sebastian was high functioning, had high functioning autism. What would you say was strengths and weaknesses that he had? Because no two kids are the same. That's why I'm asking.
That is you are nowhere far from the truth on that, because that is so correct. Sebastian is extremely high functioning. His weakness, he does not have a sense of personal space. They've always been working with him about like a 3-foot rule, because he likes to be right up in your face. Hey, whoa.
He deals with some social and emotional dysregulation issues. Simply put, his emotions or responses don't always appropriately match the situation. And socially, he can be somewhat awkward interacting with others because he doesn't always match. Like, I don't know how to say it right. Like someone will want to talk about one conversation, but if that's not the subject he's fixated on, he will just railroad over that and go right back to what he's thinking.
Not.
Peggy,
I'm not.
But at the same time, he's also, for the most part, a pretty happy kid, and he loves being a helper, and he likes, he likes animals, and he's really smart.
There.
He can play in a game of chess, and he's beat grown men in chess.
He actually likes reading occasionally, but only if it's what he wants to read. So like Minecraft books.
Good.
He loves to read those. Albeit his humor is a little different. He's funny. I prefer he's silly more than anything.
How is he with strangers?
Depends on the day, to be honest with
yeah.
you. He goes
Bubba.
either he's never met a stranger all the way to, depending on his mood, he don't want nothing to do with anybody. So it's kind of difficult to answer that question because it varies depending on where he is in the moment.
Normally, he's there's times he's not afraid to talk to people. There's times he is afraid to talk to people. Adults, maybe not so much, but children, he has no problem approaching children and talking.
For the most part.
For the most part, like I said, it just depends on what mood and what day of the week you catch him.
Okay. Artie, do you have a question you'd like to ask?
I just wanted to know if maybe, thinking back on it, is there anything you can think of that seemed off or out of the ordinary prior to him going missing that during the night before you noticed he was missing?
I honestly didn't notice anything that was like, oh my God, that's weird. I mean, we had a really good day. He wasn't in trouble at all. We went to bed on a good note. And I don't know if maybe he just wasn't saying something. But nothing, and I've gone over this so many times, I'm ill, but I didn't see or notice anything that was like red flag,
Okay.
He didn't have any meltdowns or anything like that that seemed off.
No, he was actually really well behaved that day. He was even keel for the most part all day.
Can I ask the question?
Sure.
Was that unusual for him
No.
to be well behaved all day?
Not necessarily. And
Sebastian goes through
like
phases.
this, and it turned into the.
he's got streaks where he's great, and then it's like he
Goes through remission.
like he'll screw up and he'll get in trouble, and then he'll be good again, and he'll screw up. I mean, he's like a typical kid, in a sense, but he just has autism, and I mean it's hit or miss.
But like he'll be doing really, really great for a few weeks, and then all of a sudden it's like he'll flip a switch. Sorry, and and then we're working on going to the bathroom, and we're working on manners, and we're working on attitude, and then and then we'll go through that phase, and then we'll go through and he'll flip the switch again, and he's doing really great. He just goes through.
I understand that
it's like-
completely. Trust me.
Can you guys imagine how much it killed Sebastian's spirit
Oh,
to
God,
be
don't do it.
14, 15 years old, getting spanked with a belt? Think about that for a moment.
Water from the water
He's,
again.
kind of easing into adulthood here. And Mr. Big feels the need to spank him, outside of his clothes on the buttocks.
My dad
It's like,
did.
well, how would
I
you like
lived-
that, Chris, if we did that to you? How would it make you feel? It's unacceptable. And yeah, for him to be wearing pull-ups at 15,
I'm hot.
that says everything, guys. It's one abuse or the other or both, if you ask me. I'm not a professional, but that's what it sounds like to me. What does it sound like to you guys?
I'm
Carry
not.
on.
progress backpedal, but it,
Now, when I saw on social media, some people were talking about Seth had spoken on, I guess it was, maybe it was the Pascal show that he recently spoke on, and he was talking about how at the end of the school year, Sebastian was supposed to come and live with him. And can you tell us anything about that? Is there anything specific to know about that? I think a lot of people have been, have been saying some very interesting things. According to some posts that I saw, apparently it's because Chris, you are that he's scared of you, and that you're bullying him at home. And I don't like to ask.
Oh my goodness.
He chuckles. He chuckles as Duchess says, he's scared of you. He goes, really? Is that funny? No, That's not funny.
No.
How sad that a kid would fear his stepdad that much. The one that his mom chose to marry, that he would absolutely fear him. I think that's very sad.
Oh God.
Ask these questions, but I
I
felt
would
like the
prefer you. I would
community
actually
address
prefer
this
you ask
because
these questions.
I just want you to talk to us about why people are saying this and why people are also being online that you have domestic violence charges. And I just wanted you to talk to us about that. If you, whatever you feel like you can tell us, so we can try to reel that in.
No, it's fine. Okay. To
Yeah,
address
she
everybody
is,
is.
Amy.
Okay.
So you mentioned Sebastian's afraid of me. Well, that is a loaded question because somebody who has released some information out there from another show, who I won't put his name out there, allowed somebody to say something. Now, mind you, when you have a teenage child or teenage children, all parents know this.
I like your
children are not
too,
going to like you
Amy.
because
I don't like
you're
the
not
one
there to be their
playing her
best friend.
though.
You're there to be a parent. And as parents, you have rules you have to follow. If they don't, there's consequences. Sebastian will say one day he's upset and mad at me for something, and 20 minutes later will run up to me, throw his arms around me, cry, and say, "I'm sorry and I love you." So, you know, when you get in trouble, of course you don't like your parents. You know, he said the exact same things about his father,
I think
but that's when you set him down and say, "Look, bud, parents are parents." And
is that normal for autistic kids? Like after they calm down, then they come up and apologize, and it is normal.
My son does it. He'll go off to Walmart with his grandmother and come back in. I'm not going to say every word he says that he calls his grandmother, but he's doing one of these. I can't mind and he doesn't move. Whoop, hold on. The technical difficulties here. I fell apart. Hang on. And he'll go in his room, and maybe an hour to a half hour later, he'll come out. Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'll be right back. And he'll go over and kiss her, hug her, tell her he didn't mean it. He loves her. And then 2 days later, they go off somewhere in the same scenario. He does it to me if I say to him, hey, look, we've really got to, and he doesn't really want to do whatever I'm talking to him about doing. Yeah, I get colorful language, and he'll bounce around, storm off to his room, play a game, and come out and say, Mom, I'm sorry, I love you. Want me to do it now? So, yeah. And he's 22. Sebastian was 15. His hormones are just starting to kick in. Imagine the frustration and confusion he went through or is going through. I'm going to say it that way. He is going through. Because I think he's out there somewhere. I think he's...
You think somebody's hiding it?
I think he's hiding himself. I think he had it. I think he had it enough. I try that again. I think he had enough of both of them, all of them, and I think he.
She looks like Sweetie. Oh, I'll have to look for her too.
And yeah, Carlotta, keep those pictures coming because I'm gonna end up being a puddle here if you keep doing that. Just saying. Carry on.
Did you say she looks like Sweetie? Let me see.
Amy did. Amy looked her up.
Oh, she does, don't she? Oh, she's beautiful. Oh,
I'm just some pictures that Carlotta sent me. Amy, she is pretty, isn't she? It was just a picture, people. It was. Oh God, I'm gonna drink my vodka water and be quiet.
Okay, I'm pushing.
We're going to have to do what we have to do. And unfortunately, you're not going to like it. But down the road, when you get older and if you decide to have children, someday you're going to look back and say, man, they were right. So, I mean, people have their opinions. They have their thoughts and their assumptions. And that's fine. I have never once stopped a person from having them. That's why we are people. That's how we are. But knowing the facts are one thing. And then assumptions behind what you want to put out there is something totally different.
Right.
You know, you addressed domestic violence. Okay. There are some folks out there who've decided to go online and go pull some public records, which perfectly okay with. Domestic violence. If I had domestic violence in my background, I wouldn't have certain credentials that I have because you're not legally allowed to. Domestic violence. No, I've had a temporary protective order, and I had a no contact order placed against me in New Mexico with my ex-wife. Now, mind you, let me back up and I'll play the whole story for you. Me and my ex-wife, we actually lived here in Tennessee for a little bit. We had a daughter, and at the time, my daughter was only maybe 6 weeks old. An event took place while I was holding my daughter, and when that took place, I filed for an immediate protection order against her. We went to court. The court made their decisions. I gave my daughter back to her mother, and when she received her, she jumped in the truck and flew right back to New Mexico. Got to New Mexico within 2 days of being there. She turned around and filed the exact same thing against me in New Mexico. So everything that people are reading, it's on a court document. But what you don't read is the all the things that are happening in the court. You're not reading the transcript, so unfortunately, you don't know the full story. But
I believe so, Amy.
I'm okay to tell you. You know, yes, I still have a current custody case going on in New Mexico that actually has absolutely zero bearing on this case with Sebastian. I do ask people to refrain from bringing that up because it has no bearing. And all you're going to do is put assumptions, and you're going to allow people to have their speculations and bring out more false information. And what people don't understand is every time somebody puts something out there, or they call into the law enforcement agency and says, the stepfather did it, you need to check the stepfather. Well, now you've just pulled a body away from the investigation because they are mandated to deal with that.
Right.
And I have told everybody from the very beginning, the TBI put a news link out, and in there it does state that all three parents have extremely been cooperative and constantly are continuously working with law enforcement. And there's absolutely nothing to show that we are responsible, foul play. People
Does
ask
not
about
say that
allegations and
all three
polygraph.
parents are
All that
cleared.
stuff has been done. All of it has been.
Y'all have not been cleared. None of
Wait
y'all.
till we get into this about the polygraph. Man, he really lies through his teeth, guys, about the polygraph. Here we go.
That was one of the questions that I had up next was, have you both taken a polygraph test?
The results are passed.
Chris, can I ask something? Because I know that people's going to ask it afterwards.
The results are passed. Just so dismissive, like try to cover his little tracks there, huh? Like, okay, on to the next question. Yes, the channel, Miss ERN, is
Hey, Wera.
Duchess. Duchess is who did this interview. It's a good interview too. And this was pretty early on, like maybe a week or 10 days in. Probably a little over 10 days in, I think.
The event that happened, was that toward you or by you?
It was toward me.
Okay.
So to give you, I'll go ahead and paint that story very crystal clear. I was holding my daughter in my left arm. Okay, mind you, she was a little baby. She was up against my chest, cuddled up next to my cheek and my shoulder. My ex-wife accused me of having an affair with a coworker.
Probably was.
Who was not much into men. I'll let you go that direction wherever you want to go. Just wasn't into men. And that coworker was my boss.
Maybe she was licking your ass crack.
And she didn't like, and I was like, "You're kidding me, right?" And I showed it to her. She's very hot-headed. She didn't like the answer. Swore up and down I was, and she connected and slapped me across the left-hand side of my face.
Good.
Again, if you're tracking here, he's talking about the Nina situation where Nina slaps him and then he gets a protective order, and then it actually steals baby Faith from his wife. And baby Faith is probably, I don't know, 6 weeks old at this point. As something, I mean, she's very young at this point. It's
Peggy,
horrific.
need tooth guard.
Where I was holding my daughter. If you can do that while a man is holding a child, or a woman is holding a child for that matter, if you can slap that person while they're holding that child, that says something about you.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be in that situation. I would expect any person to be in a situation of that. So I had to do what I had to do based on being a parent, which was best for my child.
Right. I just knew that in the future that people would be online saying there was an incident and nobody asked what the incident was. You said the result.
I'm sure they're
the
going
results.
to spin it.
Yeah. The results of the polygraph was that you passed. Is that both of you passed, or can you say?
Yes.
Okay. I think that was my question.
Liar, liar, pants
Liar.
on fire. There's a big fat whopper for everybody. Do I have to roll that back a little?
God,
You're such a liar.
question that was up, since I see a couple people asking
did
that
lie.
specifically. Did you take a polygraph test specifically? Chloe and Mo wanted to know specifically. Could you elaborate? Did you take one and also pass?
I've got a question, and a lot of people have been asking, Chris, is there any reason why you don't want Sebastian around your daughter?
So I'm going to make this real crystal clear for everybody. There's some things that can be spoke of, and there's some things that will not be spoke of. And personal issues inside my family are strictly that. They have no bearing on this investigation. The cops are well aware of everything involving specifics. And that's quite honestly, I know this is going to sound snarky and rude, but it's really nobody's business as to that because there's no bearing on this case.
Stupid.
Understood.
Okay.
And for the record, I will say this: all three parents have an agreement, and we all understand this.
Danny, want to check that?
That can be said.
What's going on?
Yeah, that ain't
we
YouTube.
are. Yes, we are watching Sweetie Paolo's live that she done on the Sebastian Rogers case, the 15-year-old missing child out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. He's 15. His name's Sebastian Rogers, and he's autistic. You can stick around and watch it with us if you would like. If you hear me mad right now, I'm just aggravated. My desk is broke, and I'm just...
And please be 18 or older.
Piece of... Okay.
Got it. Okay. And someone wanted to ask, Angela said, I would like for Chris to clarify what he meant when he said he hasn't seen Sebastian since early February. Are you able to clarify? And if you're not, just state that.
So I cannot give certain details with this investigation, and that's kind of one of those things.
Okay.
I wish I could eventually down the road. I'm sure that will allow to come out.
Okay.
But as it stands right now, the answer that I've given is early February was the last time that I saw Sebastian. And no, I was not home when all of this took place. I actually got back to Nashville. And I believe it was later in the afternoon. But I was on the phone with police for the majority of that day until I physically got here.
A question that I see to ask, so I wrote it down to ask you. Why was the sheriff's office called and not 911?
So our house is not designated for city limits, which jurisdictions for police are inside city limits. The sheriff's department is what governs our area because we're outside of that. So if you call 911 and you're outside of those areas, it goes to a central point, but then they will turn around and ask your location and then they redirect you to another dispatcher. If you know who the dispatcher, who your law enforcement agency is that governs your area, I just call them straight. There's no point in wasting time going from one to another to get to what I need when I know exactly who to call.
And you guys were on a three-way call because you were not, you were coming from out of town. Is that correct?
We were on a three-way call.
Yeah, that law enforcement was called on a three-way call.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We called them immediately.
No, I said this in a recent live, but one of my very astute subscribers brought up the point that it's possible if they called on three-way to the sheriff's office versus 911, there might not be a record of that 911 call. In other words, location, you know how location is recorded from a 911 call? It's possible that they circumvented that whole process by calling the sheriff direct. Really something to think about there.
I just wanted to clarify that. Carrie Dean wants to ask you if Sebastian could have been sneaking out prior without y'all knowing.
I would like to say no.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is not Sebastian. He's not a child that just goes outside at any point in time without telling somebody something. Yeah, if it had happened, we don't know about it.
Back
But our neighborhood is a very small subdivision. It's not huge. And everybody here looks out for everybody. We all watch to make sure everything's kosher in the neighborhood, and nobody has reported anything of that nature.
Okay. Crazy Linda asked, were there any weapons in either homes? And if so, were they all accounted for by law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay. And
Do you all have camera footage in your home? I've heard people saying that too.
That is some information that we cannot divulge at this time due to the ongoing investigation.
okay.
Boom. Did you catch
Oh.
that? They are asked if they have camera footage in their home and they cannot reveal that. Now think back to the Nancy Grace interview where she asked them about their surveillance and if they have any, and if they have, what is it, like lights and what do you call it? Motion censored lights and things like that. Remember, they say they have no surveillance system in that interview, but in this interview, he can't talk about it. So what changed exactly?
Maybe Ellie told him to.
Thank you.
We should could.
Or a lawyer.
Did Sebastian have a key to the house? And if he did he take that key with him?
That is another part of his investigation that's ongoing that we cannot answer.
Okay.
Can I ask the question I've seen? Whose idea was it for Sebastian to move in with his bio dad after school was out?
All three parents.
And another thing that I've seen, and I mean, I understand if y'all can't answer, but was there also a restraining order on the biological dad?
That was posted in a Facebook group.
Yes.
That someone sent to me. I think, no, that was something else. Let me find it. Someone
It
sent
was,
that
Oh,
to me.
shoot,
it was
it's
actually
after
underneath
10.
JLR's video. It wasn't in the Facebook group.
Okay, so here's,
Wait. I think Carl was going live at 10 and I meant to get off at 10 and Carl, are you here? Son of a gun.
Let me look. I'll look real quick. She should be around somewhere. Oh, Carlotta. Aisle 6, please. Oh, Carlotta. Oh, Lotta. Hello.
I thought it said inside their home.
They were asked about in and out, and they said no. So there's that. I remember in the interviews they said they didn't.
Yeah, but this one he says he can't talk about it.
Well, like I said,
I don't understand.
maybe
Why?
Ellie or a lawyer has told them to shut up.
You only need a lawyer if you're freaking guilty.
Well, sometimes you need a lawyer when. Oh, okay. Thank you, TX, whatever. I can't talk right now. Yeah, but sometimes when you have idiots coming after you and standing on your go out and start yelling, "Baby killer, where is he?" You get a lawyer. I would. A lawyer in my pew pew. You can all shut up and
I
go home.
would. I'd be out there searching, proving everybody wrong if I was.
Like I said, pew pew and a lawyer. I'll keep you off my damn lawn.
They left state.
She's here.
Carl, are you going live? I just realized it's
I couldn't
10:13.
find one scheduled either, Danny.
Well, I talked to her earlier, and
You had the inside scoop then. I was stuck in the red room.
In a little bit. What's a little bit so I know?
My paper towel broke. Oh
Like 5 minutes?
no. Where did I?
10 minutes? 1 minute? What's a little bit to you?
Yeah, what's the difference between a little bit and an inch? Is that like 2 inches, 4 inches difference? Oh, I gotta get a new one. I broke that one.
I don't understand skipping town. I would not want to. Exactly, Arrow. I don't understand that either. What if he what if he is alive and he shows up at the house and nobody's home? It's empty. Parents are gone.
Well, I would feel the same way too, but I don't think she's as strong as we think that she should be.
Oh, that.
Okay.
That
All right.
freaking.
Fine.
She was in the damn, what do you call it? Navy something. I don't know. She was in, I can't remember the exact name. She's tougher than what she's letting on. She's a tough cookie. A rumor that it is, from what I understand, it's completely been emptied. That's a rumor, like Amy said, but that's what I've heard as well. You can be in the military and still have a weak mind. Do you think she lets him control her? Now that I do think that he does control her to a point. To a point. But that's still, her baby is out there somewhere that nobody knows where, and she wants to go live in a camper, on a campground in a whole other state. That's what I don't get it. I don't. A creator had a sub drive by their house, I think yesterday. It was all live. I'll have to look for it. VTX, can you ask Carl what a minute is to her? Or in a little bit. Okay, I'm coming. She's not going tonight. She's going tomorrow. Okay, let me see where I stopped at.
Here's what I will.
How do you... We'll do 4807. We'll finish this live tomorrow and discuss more of it. Because it is past my bedtime, 48:15. I don't know if I should write on that. 48:15. Just to make sure that, okay. Bear Country. Bear Country. Okay, I love y'all. I'm going to go to bed. This case is eating me alive, and I can't help it. Nick, I'll do tomorrow so they can make sure it works for Alive. Okay. Okay. Well, just let me know what time and stuff. I'm going to go lay my head down and sweat. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Thanks for the stream, Nick. Have a stuff one and relax, a Peggy.
I love you.
All right. I love you. Love you. She's so mad.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Good night, everyone. Nick, get you an ice pack. That's a good idea. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Because...
He's whining.
No. You little devil, you bit me, Olaf, and I've already gave you greens. You ain't getting nothing else. Okay. I love y'all and sweet dreams, and I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Maybe I'll try to get up and do it early before I get in the shower to go to class or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Don't do that.
What?
Hit your head like that? What? Okay. Do you need to take a little time out now?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe I need to lay my head down.
Well, you just lay her down now. Nice and gentle.
Okay, I love you, stiff one. Sweet dreams.
Oh.
Go get that stiff one, Danny. I love y'all. I don't know. coughing. Don't be like naked and laughing and hitting yourself. I'm about to strip down. I'm hot. I'm burning up. And I know I'm about to burn up a lot more soon as I get in there. If y'all don't care, you can hit the like button if you want to. You don't have to. I love y'all. And sweet dreams. And never forget that you're loved and you're not alone. Okay? Good night. Sweet dreams. I'm going to tie my hair in a knot or something. I need a hair bow. This is irritating me. Every time I get hair bows, the kids steal them and then they're never to be seen again. I won't get it. I'm telling you. Shit. I'm so aggravated. I want to cry. Okay, good night.